Hi, my name's Robert Ward. I'm going to read you a little bit of my book, Red Baker. First, let me tell you a little bit about it. I wrote it in the 80s. The 80s were not known for books about steel workers losing their jobs or any kind of working people doing anything. It was mainly a period of people writing about yuppies and how much coke they could snort. I decided to write this book because I grew up with these guys and I had a feeling that there was a story that they were not telling anymore. Literature used to tell these stories back in the old days of Steinbeck and James G. Farrell and people like that, but not in the 80s, and for the most part, not now either. Anyway, the story is about Red Baker and his family and how he loses his job and what this does to him and also to his entire neighborhood in East Baltimore. His job as a steel worker, a job that we always associate with American building and enterprise, but not anymore. So he loses his job, and he's at first thinks, somehow he'll make it through, but it gets tougher and tougher. Here's the first page. The story I'm about to tell you is how I, Red Baker, lost my job, my pride, my family, and came damn close to losing my home and life. But through an act of ingenuity, got them all back again, for the time being anyway. There never was a story with a happy ending in Baltimore, but this comes as close to cutting it as any I've heard. What happened was this. In the winter of '83, the year the president and his band of television writers were telling us how the economy was on the big climb, 60% of the workforce at Larmel Steel were told they could grab their lunch boxes, clean out their lockers, and make tracks for home. We weren't supposed to be bitter because we had a whole week's notice. Not that it was any huge surprise. They don't ship steel because they got a soft spot for erecting buildings. The truth is, we weren't actually creating a whirlpool of business. But it came as one hell of a shock anyway. I remember the way the mill looked that night, like one of those ghost towns you see in John Wayne movies. I walked past the slag heap, gone cold now that the furnaces were shut down. All the machinery sitting there with the fine steel dust settling over it. The guys walking around slowly in the unnatural quiet, staring at one another blank-faced and blinking in the lead-dull light. I waited there for my friend Dog Donahue to get his jacket and stared at the tilting tables on the blooming mill, where I had spent the last 12 years of my life turning the huge bars of steel over with my tongs. So many days dreaming of getting the hell out of here. But now that they were shutting the place down, rumor had it that it might be for good, I would have given about anything to climb back up there, put on protective goggles, and get back to work. So that's the first page, and I hope that you will read this book and enjoy it. Thanks so much.